everyone, and welcome to the Big Collector. We are here on our new show, Doll Talk, where we talk about Barbies. I'm Vinicius Santana, and I have here with me the amazing Michael. Hi, Michael. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm absolutely amazing today, and I'm
Good.
eager to talk about Barbie related stuff. Me and Michael, we talked after our last show, and we decided to split the things out. So we have two shows to present to you. One show we will have the news, and in another show we only chit chat, talk about stuff we like, and this chit chat it's the teams will be chosen by Michael. Michael, I believe you selected some teams for us to talk today.
I did.
I want to know what we are talking about. Everyone is
Um,
eager to know.
well, we got some several subjects, and hopefully we'll have enough time. But one of my thing you and I talked about this before was um, what did we think was the most overrated line of dolls? And we want to encourage all of our viewers and listeners to give your opinions. We want to know, it's just him and I, Vinicius, but we want to know what you think. What do you think? So my thing is, what is the most overrated line? What do you think is the most overrated line? What do you think is
Oh
overrated?
my God, that is such a hard question, and they can bring so much hate on me.
No
But
hate,
uh,
no hate.
uh, I'm sorry, everyone, but I'm not a huge fan, and this will be so much dolls involved. I don't love the superstar era. I think they
Ah,
are overrated. I think that her face is so cartoonish that it's not on Barbie's. Uh, I don't know. It's not a great deal for me. Sorry.
and that concludes our show. Thank you all. Thank you for viewing. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Oh,
okay, no, there's a lot of people that don't like the superstar era. Um, I like it. Now, I also grew up with it. So it was so, you have to think of at the time when that doll came out, we had Charlie's Angels, we had Farrah Fawcett, we had a woman named Susan Anton, which was like kind of the low budget Farrah Fawcett. Um, we had all these, big toothy grinning blonde women.
yeah,
Um,
that's right. That's
and
right. He
so
was
it was,
inspired by.
and then shortly we had Lonnie Anderson several years later. So
And
to
Pamela
me,
Anderson.
it was a time of it was for the era. There's a lot of people that don't like Superstar. There's a lot of people that don't like vintage Barbie because they think she looks old and creepy. Um, there's a lot of people that don't like twist and turn things, that mold. Um, I, I I like the Superstar mold. I think it's fine, but here's where I think it was fine in the beginning, and then as it got later into the decades, it got real cartoony, like in the
Yeah, yeah.
late 80s,
That's what
early
bothers me.
90s, where you had eyes, you went from an eye that was this big to an eye that was like this big with these
Yeah,
huge
that's what
googly eyes.
most bothers me.
Yeah. I'll have to find it. But I have a prototype superstar faced doll, and it looks almost like a human. It looks almost like a human. The features are small, and the mouth isn't real big. It's a decent size,
Yeah,
uh
you know what?
face.
For example, they did the superstar face sculpt for the Moschino dolls, and I think they're really beautiful. What I don't like is when they do this cartoonish thing,
Yeah.
and that's what bothers me. So it's not all superstar era, but the superstar era that was not, it was so close to a cartoonish thing like the Japanese dolls, you know?
Yeah, that kind of started in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah,
To me
the
is when
Nika
and
Taka dolls.
the what?
Taka dolls. That was
Yeah.
the company that made Barbies in Japan. on the 80s,
Uh-huh.
and they had these Barbies with huge eyes and a cartoonish feature.
The anime, yeah, the big anime eyes, because that's what's popular there in Japan, so
Yeah, yeah,
um uh but I do think I do agree with you. The superstar stuff from the 90s is just crazy with the big giant eyes, Um I'm trying to when I think one of the most, it's not really a
yeah.
series per se, but I bought one, and I always try to go my own advice is only buy what you love. Don't pay attention to what other people are telling you, but I actually fell into that trap. Um the Malaysia Airlines stewardess dolls.
Really?
I
Okay,
think that
now the show is over. Now the show
okay.
is over.
Okay. Um I think
But why?
um I'll tell you why. They took the Oriental head mold, which was first seen on the Oriental Barbie from the international series, and they blew it up and they made the face very round, where that face is already round, but they actually made it bigger, um, almost like not not exactly, but
Today.
it's giving me kind of like mycene almost. They made that head too big, and then they also put the head down shorter on the neck knob, so it looks very strange to me.
Really,
And I think
I
in a
think
lot of
she's
people,
such a beautiful doll because it has just these realistic features on her clothes and her
yes,
accessories, and she's so well dressed. And I love pink. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like everything pink. I love when they do realistic things. And
yes,
Zira was so much. It had so much accessories, realistic accessories and clothes, and this line is
right.
beautiful.
The clothes are great. The clothes are great. The clothes are accurate. It's just the head with them blowing up the head and then shoving it too far down on the neck knob. It just doesn't look right. The clothes are fabulous. The clothes are authentic. The clothes are, but it's just the doll, and people are like, oh, you have to have a Malaysia Airlines doll, and they actually were selling them at one point at the Mattel company store, and that's how I got mine, because you used to have to get it apparently
Was
if
it
you were
sold in the
flying.
United States
Yes, we had them in the Mattel company store, and
only?
that that's how I
It
got
was
mine.
exclusive.
The first one, um, the second one never showed up, but the first one did, and so that's how a whole bunch of us in California got them, was from going to the Mattel Toy Club. Um, I don't know why they were there. I know that apparently you either had to fly on that airline and then you could buy the doll, you know, or maybe at their
Yeah,
terminal, you know.
yeah,
That's how
you
you
could
got.
buy on
So
the airplane. And fun fact, there was this line, actually in the 60s, 70s, I don't remember. They did some stewardess dolls, and one of the lines were these with uh, the helmet. Did you remember? Do you remember those dolls? It was from a designer that was,
Braniff,
um,
the Braniff
yeah,
Airlines.
Braniff.
Yes.
Yeah, Braniff.
Yeah. Yes, I love those. Those are great. Those are crazy, you know. They are like the height of mod, I think. And I love airline stewardess stuff, but those just were not something, and a lot of people, they just to me seem very overrated. Um, that's just me. So
And talking about more modern dolls, what modern dolls do you think are the most overrated? The same questions, but only modern Barbie allowed after 2000. For example, I think that BMR dolls are overrated. There are a lot of people that love these dolls, and I think they just garbage. Sorry.
the BMR dolls. Okay. Um, I have to agree with you a little bit. Um, in the beginning they were great, but remember on our show that we talked about last time about them getting you hooked, getting you
Yeah.
hooked into. the first couple of them were great, and then the end, they just kind of like they were just phoning it in. They were just like, "Oh, we need to have a BMR doll this year. What do we?" It just I felt that the first couple were really good, and then they just kind of dropped the ball. That's my thinking of
Yeah,
them.
and they actually had some sketches for a third wave of this collection. I don't know if they actually made the prototypes. Do you have any
Oh,
information
oh,
about that?
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When you said the BMR dolls, I thought you meant the ones that came with like a suit and the lingerie, not the Carlisle
No,
ones. You're talking about the
the
Carlisle ones.
BMER 1959 dolls. Sorry,
1959. Okay. I
because
thought
we
you meant the
have
BM.
the
Okay.
BMR line with it, and it was such a
Okay.
quality
The
dolls, and they
BMR.
were beautiful.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. You mean the BMR 59 dolls.
yeah,
Yeah, they're
1959.
garbage.
The
They're
garbage.
garbage. They're,
I
yeah.
was thinking that I was trying not to disagree with you because I don't think they got anything hooked on the first wave, and I believe that. But I know a lot of people that are in love with these dolls, and I think that it's so overrated.
Right. Well, I think here's what I do like about them. We got, for example, the Tate head mold, the
Yeah,
red-headed boy. So we got head molds, um, two things, head molds that we had never seen, and then head molds that we had not seen in a while. For example, the Diva head mold, which was then, of course, later used by Midge. So we got the Diva head mold, which everybody I like the Diva head mold. But we got the Tate head mold. We got a lot of the faces, but the outfits were just garbage. The whole line I thought was
garbage,
garbage.
totally garbage.
Um, we and the thing was,
Even the Millie was a
go
beautiful doll, the Millie one.
right, right. But going back to the BMR, the very first series we talked about, that had the suits with the lingerie or whatever, those ones. Um, so when we heard that they were doing a BMR 59 line, we thought, oh my God, we're going to get either another wave of those dolls like we had, that came with all the pieces and the suit and everything. Um, or we're going to get that, or we're going to get that same concept, but with vintage faced dolls. I think the mistake was using the BMR name because a
I
lot of
totally agree.
people thought that we were going to get that, But no, I
Yeah.
think they're awful dolls. They say they're street style. No, they're not. They're not.
No, they're not.
No.
Only if you work at the in a trash can. So
Well, I
I
mean, I'm tired of seeing clothes, for example, the shoes on the boys. I don't need to see Carlisle's shoes because I've seen those
in
shoes and
Carlisle,
yeah,
in
it's
Carlisle,
his personal, you know,
it's so his
effect.
personal taste. I think that are some pieces that are okay, but when you put them together, they are not so good.
No,
So
and there was
no,
and there was a
don't worry.
third yeah, and there was a third line. You're right. There was a third line. There were sketches that were shown. They just didn't they just didn't go. They just didn't work. They just um we have a store here in America. We had a store here in America. Uh well, I think they closed a bunch of them, but and it was called Tuesday Morning, and it was like a
Yeah,
clearance.
I heard of that.
Okay, Tuesday Morning had those BMR dolls stacked up like you would not believe at my Tuesday Morning, and they were $18,
$18.
which
It's a
yeah,
good price
which was
for
half of what
bodies.
they were. But I think that BMR line, it was way overrated. The dolls, the clothing was not, you know, attractive. Um, which we'll kind of talk about the street style, um, probably on another episode, um, where Mattel also dropped the ball on a line of dolls called Flavas. Um, that
Yeah,
was a
I know
line.
them.
Um, if There's a YouTube video about the history of those Flava dolls and how they just dropped the ball. It was, they were almost like making fun of the style, the street style and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and it ultimately
it was
failed.
how you say when you're generic about some people.
Oh, it was oh my gosh. I know what you mean. I'll think of it. Um oh my gosh, I can't think of the word, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
It was stereotypical. They
yeah,
tried to
stereotypical.
they tried to do it was very stereotypical, and the thing was, by the time the dolls came out, some of those looks on those dolls were very old looking. They were not trendy anymore. But that was a line, and I've got a couple of interesting flavor dolls in my collection. Um but that was another line, the streetwear, like I said, of the BMR. Um what other lines do you think are
No,
overrated?
you have to answer me. What modern line you think it's overrated? I dropped the ball
Oh,
on
I'm sorry, it
BMR.
was my turn again. Um
Yeah,
Other line I think is overrated. Um I think that the whole, like, we had there was Winter Holiday and Peppermint Princess, and it was that whole holiday line. It wasn't like the holiday Barbies you could buy in the store. You had to buy them from doll shops, but there was Peppermint Princess, there was uh Winter something. There were all these dolls in these big giant dresses, and
like
they were big and
every
tacky.
holiday dog.
They were big and tacky. They were just, you know, they were just
I don't
evergreen
like
princess.
holiday dolls. I actually don't understand why they keep doing these dolls, and there are a lot of them.
Yeah,
They make five every year these days. I don't know if they actually sell these dolls because I don't know anyone that is in love with these dolls.
right. Well, I can remember back in the 90s, in the mid 90s, when they announced that they were cutting back the production number of holiday Barbies. And I don't know about you there in Brazil, but in America, you could find holiday Barbies, 2 and 3 weeks after Christmas. You could still find them in the stores. So anyway, they made a big announcement that they were cutting back the production. Now, I don't know if they've changed that back, but they were cutting down the production from 1 million to 500,000. Now,
Oh,
I don't know about you, but
so
even after they cut it down to 500,000, we still had holiday Barbies. I can remember, I can remember going into um, either Walmart or Target. I think it was Target, and they had not only did they have the holiday Barbie that came out that year, they had the two previous years' holiday Barbies on the
oh,
shelf. Yeah.
so
So,
I believe that
you know,
I don't live in the United States, but you can tell me. The parents in the USA have this habit of buying holiday dolls for their kids.
uh-huh. Yes, they do. They buy them, and they think they're going to be collectible, and they're going to, if they have enough holiday Barbies, they're going to put their kids through college when they sell them. But the fact is, like, I bought a doll collection about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. If I got $9.99 at the doll show for those, I was doing really, really well.
Oh my god!
Yeah. And I bought I believe I bought 125 dolls. And
Oh my
it
god!
was,
It's a
yeah. And
whole bunch of dolls.
a whole bunch of them. And so I ended up selling them. I went to a doll show and I sold doll, but those holiday dolls, I couldn't get 9.99 for some of them. Now there are some of the holiday Barbies I do love. Don't get me wrong. There are a couple that they've really done a great job. The dolls are stunning. One of my favorite ones, well, the big giant pink one, I gotta love that one. That's fabulous. The huge pink dress from 1990.
What, 2009?
No,
Kinda.
1990. 1990.
Okay, okay. I don't
Okay, that one I
remember
love because
that one.
she's big, she's pink, but the
I
other one I
believe
love is
I believe that these dolls they were stuck in time, because the 80s were this age where big gowns were a thing.
Yeah.
but these days, and they don't actually evolve the line with the times.
No.
We don't
No.
have any different silhouette of
No. We
dresses
don't.
for
All we
this
have is
line.
big and poofy. That's all we got is big and poofy. Um, the other holiday Barbie I loved was the one, and she was in the forest, and she was in like silver, and she had like little trees inside the box. She had like a coat
Was
and
it
then a
a Bob
slim
McKee doll?
dress. I'm sorry?
So, is it a Bob McKee doll? A Bob McKee
No,
holiday doll?
no, no. I think it was called like Winter, I think it was called Winter Fantasy. And she's a Mackie face doll, and her hair is done up, and she's got a couple little tendrils, but she's in a box. And what was great was the box is see through on both sides. And it looks like she's
Is it
walking in
a
the
round
forest.
box?
No, it's square or rectangle, but
Okay, I
she's
will try to find that one. I don't
she's a
remember that.
beautiful doll. That's one of the prettier ones, but some of them are just, they look like a float. They look like a
And
float in a parade.
another stereotypical line.
Stereotypical line. Yes, yes.
So,
Um,
what's our next
Anthony,
question?
the next question. Um, what is your most underrated line?
Underrated line. I believe that is the ladies of 80s, that line.
Yes, I
I
agree.
think that they were great dolls, nice made, and we should have an, a new wave of these dolls with another 80s celebrities that should be
Uh,
portrayed in this line.
yeah,
So I think that is a line that collectors should have uh, loved more.
yeah, I agree. I
What do you
think that
think
they
about that?
should. Um, I know that after they came out with them, I remember reading on the internet and stuff like that. Um, Bill was just bombarded with people saying, "Please do more, please do more, please do more." Because so many people liked them. But I do think they were underrated for what they were. Um, I do think they were underrated by a lot of people. I think a lot of people just skipped them over. Um, but I do know that he was bombarded online, on Facebook, on Instagram with, "Oh, please, can you do more? Can you do more? Can you do more?" I agree. I think that it was a
It's an
series that I
underrated
think could
line,
have gone on.
and there were not celebrities that were forgotten. It was the line had some amazing celebrities. Everyone knows Cyndi Lauper, Joan Jett, and the blonde girl. Um, forgot her name.
There was Debbie Harry, Blondie.
Debbie Harry. Yeah, Debbie Harry, Joan Jett,
Yeah,
and Cyndi Lauper. They were amazing artists. They were
yeah,
not some unknown people. And I don't know why this line were so underrated. I don't know
yeah.
why people did
I don't know.
or
And
grab them.
and luckily, I can remember with all the requests that were coming in to do more. I can remember them saying, and this is very interesting, um, Tina Turner. Well, we ended up getting a Tina Turner,
Yeah,
later.
yeah,
Um, Stevie Nicks. Well, now we're on our second Stevie Nicks doll.
yeah.
You know.
Let me just
Uh,
show you something. I have to
yes.
show you this. Just a
Okay.
second. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh. So here I have my ladies of 80s dolls with my
Fabulous.
Tina Turner doll
Uh-huh.
and my Stevie Nicks doll.
Cool. And
Yeah.
share.
And yeah, share it on this side. But just like you said, they should have been made together.
Yeah. But remember, I don't know if the viewers remember or not, but um, we talked about the Gloria Estefan and
Yeah,
how that was supposed to be done back in the early 90s, you know,
yeah.
and then we ended up getting it, years later. So, um, at least we got them. That's the thing. At least we got uh some
Why do
things.
you think if we this line were not so good on selling?
Why do I think designs were not so good?
In selling, in selling and being sold.
I don't know. I don't know why they weren't the designs. you know.
I think it was because 2009 was such amazing year. We had such amazing lines of dolls. Actually, there are another line that I think it's underrated. Sorry, but I will have two lines in this answer. The other one was the Blonde Ambition collection that I thought
Yes.
would get a new wave, but we never got this new wave. And
I think
I,
part of the reason, I think there was a great line for 2000, in 2009 for that 50th anniversary, we got some amazing things. I mean, Mattel hit it out of the park. I went to the Barbie convention that year. Normally, as probably a lot of your viewers know, and you probably do too, you get one doll from Mattel.
our
If you're
viewers,
part of the Barbie club, you get another doll if you're part of the Barbie club. We got, how many dolls did we get? Six, 6 or 7 dolls we got at that thing. We got
oh my God.
the gift set that Bill did. Bill knocked it out of the park, but we got that gift set which had the red-haired number one with the outfits
Yeah,
that weren't done. We got the other number one, and of course this is right up my alley. It's prototype stuff, that never got done, and now we're getting a chance, to see it. We got the Silkstone in gold, in there was a black one in gold. That was the doll they gave out at the final banquet. But for the other dolls, we got um we got the Silkstone. We got the Silkstone, the number one Barbie in the orange suit that's on the front of the number one box. She's blonde. We got the Barbie, the gift set, which was the red haired number one with the outfits they didn't do. We got the doll that Matt Sutton and Carol Spencer did, the two doll set. And
I
what was the
remember that
fifth?
one.
Yeah. And I think we got 5 dolls. That was amazing. Um, but I think the problem with the Blonde Ambition was they did not use the right bodies for all of the dolls. They used for the Goldie Hawn, that was the right body for Goldie Hawn because that's what Goldie Hawn's body looked like. Um, the Heidi Klum, that was the right body for Heidi Klum. Marilyn Monroe does not go on the Model Muse body. Model
Yeah,
Marilyn Monroe
she was
went
a
on
little bit curvier, right?
she was they should have used a regular Barbie body for her. And I think that's what part of the problem. I know a lot of people that bought that doll and put that head on a regular sized body.
Yeah, but it was not actually a Marilyn Monroe doll. The box says Barbie as Marilyn Monroe.
Right.
You can see the face sculpt is not a Marilyn Monroe face sculpt.
No.
She is like Barbie dressed as Marilyn Monroe. So
Right.
I think that maybe the body was correct for that. The wrong thing they did actually was not portraying Marilyn herself, like
Right.
they did with Heidi Klum and what they did with the Golden Howdle.
Right. I don't know. I think my thing is, um, if you're gonna do like Maryland, I mean, do it right. Because the thing is, they've done the other Marylands. They did Barbie as Marilyn in how to in the white dress. Um, they did Marilyn in the pink dress. They did Marilyn in the red dress. Barbie as Marilyn. They all had the normal Barbie body. None of those had a Model Muse body. They all had a
Yeah,
regular.
I know. But I think that in these older lines, they tried to do Marilyn herself.
Right.
In the 2009 line with the Blonde Ambition, they did
Uh-huh.
Barbie, actually the character Barbie with the Marilyn Monroe outfit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. No,
It's
no, I
not
know what you're
Marilyn.
saying. But even if it was Barbie as Marilyn, I still think they should have used a regular body, not the Model Muse body. Or you know what they could have done? They could have used the bodies that they were using on the Bond girl dolls. Because the
Okay,
Bond girl
but
dolls,
was it
not all of
different?
them.
I don't remember.
No, there is. There is. I don't know if you know this or not. The Bond girl dolls are the Model Muse bodies. Some of them have bigger breasts. They've
Really?
got bigger
I
breasts,
never.
yes.
Let
And
me
then
see.
um and then the another doll, that that uses the Model Muse body, but she's got a bigger butt, is the J Lo. The Jennifer
Yeah, that
Lopez,
one I was aware for of
yeah, she's got a
J
bigger butt,
Lo
but on
and the Model Music series with
yeah,
the Mariah Carey doll. But I
right.
think that these bodies were not available at the time
I
when.
think I think they were. I think they started doing those Bond girls in 2008. I think I'm not 100%
I don't
sure.
remember.
But they if they would have used that Model Muse body with the bigger breasts, um then I think that would have been okay. But I just think it was too small. So, yeah.
So, and how about you? You didn't answer the question. I'm not gonna be the only one who will be on the wall waiting for the collector shots.
Yes.
What was your the most overrated, over or under?
Oh, I thought we
Underrated.
were on underrated now. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
what was
Um
the most underrated collection in your opinion?
Actually, I've got two. Um, one is a Playline doll,
It's fair because
and
I did too.
the other's a collector. We'll start with the collector. The one modern circle dolls. Um,
Okay, the one in mod.
the, the one modern circle where they use the twist and turn and the classic. You know,
Yeah,
um,
I
I
know.
think that line is very, very underrated. Um, and kind of an interesting story. How Mattel works. Um, there was going to be a line of dolls using the vintage head molds, and were going to be used in room. They were going to be available in room settings. So the line gets dropped, but the room settings go to the Generation Girl doll line. Do you remember the Generation Girls that came in the rooms? It
I
was the
don't
last
remember
wave
that.
of them. It was the last wave of them, and they came in their bedroom. It was supposed to be in their bedrooms, and
Okay,
they did
okay. I think
Barbie.
I know now what you're talking about. I know.
Right. Okay. So originally that was going to be a line that had vintage faced dolls. It wasn't the generation line. It was a line of dolls with those vintage faces going to be sold in room settings. Well, that line gets dumped, but they end up using the room setting for the generation girls, and then they ended up
These dolls, they were supposed to be playline or collector dolls.
like Playline, like the
Okay,
Modern
okay.
Circle, Modern Circle was available, like on that Playline level, Um, and so they end up not using that vintage face concept, but then here comes one Modern Circle, you know. Um, so there's
Do you
another
think they split the line with
they
the
split
rooms going to
they did,
Generation Girl
and
and the dolls going?
they've done it before because I talked to a designer and she did a doll back in 1983, and it was called either Ski and Sun or Sun and Ski. I can't remember which way the name was, but it was Barbie in a fur coat, ready for skiing, and then you took off the fur coat and the pants, and she had a bathing suit. Okay,
Oh my God,
so
that makes no sense.
this like she would fly, like let's say she flew from California, where it was sunny, hot weather, and she went to like Colorado to ski for the weekend. So that's why it was called Sun and Ski or Ski and Sun, because you could, have a dress for
Yeah,
the beach or have a
it
dress for
actually remembers me of a video clip from a Brazilian singer called Anita, and
all
she
right.
had this one video clip where she skis in a bathing suit.
Okay. You have to send me a clip. So
Okay, I will send
yeah.
you.
So here's the interesting part about that. Um, she also had okay, now keep in mind this is in 1983. 1983. Okay. The other concept was you pushed a button on the back of her back and her hand went up and she took her sunglasses off.
Okay, like the
Magic
one from
Moves
the 80s.
Barbie,
Yeah.
right? Which was done 3 years later.
Oh my God. So
Magic
it
Move
was in the
two
80s.
years, 2 years. Well, no, 3 years because that was it all for 83. So they ended up they took that feature with the hands, they put that on the model doll,
Okay.
Magic Moves. Okay. The swimsuit they ended up putting on Sun Gold Barbie.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So here's two things and they split it. Once again, you know,
Once again, but I believe that maybe the moving part of the glasses maybe didn't work so well because I can see this thing with the glasses. The glasses,
right. Well,
I
the thing
believe
is,
that it was a little
like
bit of problematic.
see on those Magic Move dolls, you can turn the one arm where it won't go up. And so she can just do it with the one arm to take the glasses up.
Yeah,
Um,
but you have to make it so tight just to
yeah.
get the glasses. And
Oh
so I
yeah,
think
she
that
did.
it
No,
was a
no,
little
I
bit
I agree.
problematic.
I agree. I could see, but I just think it's interesting that they, split that concept up into two dolls. Um, so, but back to the one modern circle. Uh, so I brought you a couple fun things. Um,
Oh
these were going to be,
God, I
um,
love it.
these were going to be, I guess, either if the line was bigger or maybe there was another wave after the first. The first wave they were in the business outfits. The second wave they were in the premiere. But here is a black Ken.
Oh, oh
I
my
dressed him.
God.
I dressed him. So anyway, but there's the
I
black
was
Ken.
just about to ask you if this was the original outfit for this
Yeah,
doll.
no, I dressed him. And there's the dark skinned one.
Is he bald?
Here's
I
the
can't see
lighter
the head.
skinned one.
Oh my God. Is he bald?
Yes,
Bald.
yeah, they were not rooted. Yeah, they ended up not. They're both hand painted, uh, but they're not rooted. So
It
I
was
guess they were
supposed to
they
be
were.
bald or just not rooted because it was a prototype?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. That's part of the fun of collecting, prototypes and samples is the mystery. Um, and so here's another one. Um, and
Oh,
so
it's beautiful.
yeah. And so anyway,
But I believe that face was used on some can. I can see the
they did use
painting.
it on the Ken. The Ken was used in the
A
line.
platinum label can with a mod cloth for
Oh,
the inspired by the 70s.
no, huh? This is the vintage head mold, which they used in the One Modern Circle line. That's not the mod, that's the vintage head Ken head, which they did use in the One Modern Circle line, but apparently they were going to do more characters, and the line wasn't that successful, which I think it was a great line. I actually have one of the girl characters, which is either um Latin or of a light-skinned black girl, and with the vintage head mold, and she's got dark brown hair and with like kind of coppery highlights, and that was one of the characters that was going to be in the line, and they ended up not doing it. The line, and I think that's a really underrated line. I think that line is so the quality, the looks of the dolls, and I really like that line. That's one of my favorite lines that they've done. You
Okay,
know,
so
that's underrated.
you said you had two answers to that question. One was this modern circle,
One modern circle, yes. Uh-huh.
and the other one was
Oh, no, I was saying if they'd continued the series and did like another wave of modern circle, uh, you know, I think that's where these characters would have come in, because there was no black male
no,
doll.
no, no. I know, but you said you had two answers. One was modern circle dolls. What
Oh,
other
oh,
line you
this oh
said
the
it
second.
was?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were no, I hadn't gotten to my second favorite yet.
Okay, now, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I
no.
thought that
And my
I
sec
would had messed up the
oh,
thing.
no, no, no. I hadn't gotten to her yet. Okay. Um, the other line of dolls that I think is really underrated um, is the My First Barbies that they did a couple of years ago when they introduced the 15.5-inch Barbie. Do you remember
Really?
these?
I don't remember these clothes, but I remember
Okay.
this face.
Well, there was four of them. There was Barbie, Nikki, Renee, and I can't remember what the fourth one was, but there was Barbie, you know, white, Nikki being African American, a kind of a
Teresa,
red
maybe?
brown hair. Huh?
Teresa, maybe?
No, there was Barbie, Nikki, Renee. I think maybe Renee was the Asian one, and then there was a kind of a reddish brown haired girl,
I
and
don't
they did,
remember.
and they were called My First Barbie, and they were for small kids. Um, and I
And
think
why
they're
do you
very
think this line is underrated? Because it's a line
well.
that it's not
I think it's
under the
underrated for
radar of a lot of collectors.
I think they're underrated because people just looked at them and they were dressed very juvenile. Does that does that translate juvenile to like they were dressed very childlike?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I know
Okay.
what you mean.
But what people don't know is she can wear the curvy Barbie clothes.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. This is she's wearing one of the extra from the Barbie extra line outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know
That she can
that.
wear. And the other thing is she can wear um rainbow
How about
high
the shoes?
shoes. Rainbow high.
Oh,
She can wear
Rainbow
rainbow high.
High.
Now, I left the best for last. I found these boots online and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, let me see, because they had so. Oh my God, I didn't know that. It's such an important and
Yeah.
amazing information.
But these dolls can
Can
wear
you show
the
again?
yeah, sure. There's the boots, there's the heels. Uh, you could take
These
somebody's
boots
eye out
are
with
made
those.
for walking,
Yeah. Oh, and the you can't hear it, but the legs snap. You can hear the legs snap
like the bend leg
like
mechanism.
the bend leg, and her arms do too. Her arms will bend.
Oh, but they
Just
have joints, or it's under the
no,
skin.
they're hidden. They're like living Barbie joints.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hold on, let me
Maybe
take the
this line is
jacket off.
underrated, but I believe most of collectors don't know this kind of information.
No, that's why I was like, oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Almost got the jacket off. Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's what I think that they made to move body should be.
Yes. It's just got nice belly button. And nicer belly button than I have. Um, but anyway, um, but yeah,
So
these dolls, I think are way overrated. I mean, you can't. That outfit looks like it was just made for her, but it's the curvy. They wear the curvy clothes, and I
I would
think
never guess that.
a lot
I
of
would never
people
have guessed
didn't.
that.
They just looked at it, and you and I talked about on the last video about looking at stuff, through a Barbie eye. When we see little miniature things or whatever.
Yeah,
I saw this doll, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I have an idea. So I bought it. I at work. I think because I mentioned before I used to run the toy department at Target.
yeah,
So I
yeah. You
bought
said
that,
that.
and but I think that's an underrated line. You've got these beautiful dolls, well made, really well made, nice hair and everything, but they can wear those clothes. They can wear the curvy clothes. They
I
can wear the rainbow high shoes. Yeah,
maybe after our video, this doll will go up on price because I believe
maybe.
most collectors don't know this type of information.
Yeah,
It's
and I
gold.
yeah, and I want to say they were. I think they were 15. I think they were 15.99 or 16.99.
Yeah, but how about their size? I don't know if you like to display your collection, but I don't think that most collectors like the size gap between the dolls. How you
Well,
work that?
well, I have a separate area for the big dolls because I have some sample supersized Barbie. I have a prototype supersized Barbie, and then I have my size Barbies too. The 3 foot tall ones. So those are in like one area. Those are in one area from the rest of everybody else,
Okay, okay.
because I agree. I like symmetry. So I want all my dolls to be the same, height, and so um but that once again, I think those dolls are so underrated for the quality. Um, it's amazing.
And
It's
they
just
were launched,
absolutely.
I believe, in 2019.
I believe it was 19 or 20. Yes, yes, is when they were done. I know. Hold on, just 1 second here.
Oh, no problem.
Oh, anyway, I found those boots on eBay, which I love. Anyway, they have a zipper.
You know, oh my God, these dolls.
But
Let me see. Oh, Michael, are you there?
yeah, I'm here. But see, I mean, nice bendable legs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the Rainbow Ride dolls, they have such a great and amazing shoes. I saw a
Yes.
fashion pack with a lot of shoes they have, and I was just wondering how much more they would sell if they were on Barbie size, if they had made their molds, their shoe
Yes.
molds on Barbie
Yes.
size.
I think they would sell a lot more, but those from Zuru, those mystery fashion accessory balls, those shoes fit Barbie, and there's some amazing shoes in that line. But I think if um Rainbow High, if they had done those shoes in Barbie size, Mattel would be freaking out, and we would get Barbie shoes that were like that. Um,
Yeah, I believe so.
because those shoes were
Uh,
amazing,
and
amazing.
this type of accessory and this type of word made me angry.
Right.
I if these companies can make shoes like that and sell it so cheap, why can't Mattel do the same? Why?
Well, especially okay, just like looking at those Rainbow High shoes, which are I don't know if they had them in Brazil, but here in America, you could buy the shoes in like little individual boxes.
Yeah,
Did they have those?
in
Okay.
crystal
So,
crystal clear
um,
boxes.
okay. So my thing is that that kind of look of shoes that the Rainbow High dolls have, why did you guys, why did Mattel charge us 100 plus for that Christian Louboutin shoe pack?
Yeah, why?
And then the thing is, okay, I understand Christian Louboutin. You have to pay for that name. You have to pay for the license. You have to pay. Okay, but what about the next year or the year after that when you didn't have to do that, pay for the license? Now you've got all the molds. You're telling me that you couldn't have given us a $20 shoe pack so you don't have the shoe boxes. I know
Yeah,
I would
like
pay. I
the
know I
Barbie
would pay that
Basics shoe
much.
pack.
Yeah, I know I would pay that much money for a shoe pack if I got some of those shoes. I would pay 20 or $25 for a shoe pack using all those Louboutin molds, which they already have at this point. They don't have to pay, you know, fees or licenses anymore.
Yeah, and they seem to just they need. I actually sometimes here in Brazil in this channel, I used to say that Mattel needs competition. We don't
Yes.
have another doll on Barb size, on Barb with natural and human proportions that
Right.
actually goes through if goes that beats Barbie, that
Right.
fights Barbie.
That
We only have this
competes.
childish. Yeah, we have integrity ties, but they are not the same level. They are
Right.
both. We have I don't remember the name. Uh, this new line of dolls that have these collectible dolls right now. They used to have the Lucy. I don't know if they're Lucy.
Is it Delpha Lucy?
Yeah, Delpha Lucy
Yeah.
dolls. But they are not on top with Barbie because they don't have the type of money Mattel have.
Have
So
have you
we don't
seen the
have
new
competition for Barbie.
have you seen the new waves of the Delphaluces?
Yeah, with the cappuccino
Yeah,
tone.
yeah. It's those collector ones are amazing, you know. But like you said, they don't have the money. But the thing is, Delphalucy has come really far in the last, I would say, probably year and a half, where hardly people knew anybody. Now, I would say at least a third of my friends own at least one or two of those Delphaluces where they didn't before, you know. So I think Mattel needs to worry about Delphalucy. Um, there's also another doll line. Oh, I can't remember what her name is, but she very much is competing with Barbie and fashion royalty. Um, what is her name? She's got a
I know
boyfriend
these
too.
Xian dolls from China.
It's yeah, it's you can buy them on Shine, but they're available at doll dealers too. And Mitzi.
Mitzi, I don't know them.
Okay, you ought to go look at Mitzi because let me tell you, Mitzi is giving Mattel and Fashion Royalty a run for their money, a big run for their money. And it's
Mattel, some collectors hate the competition. They hate
right.
the other lines, and they just seem like they are cheering is the word,
Yes.
cheering for the other lines to fall apart. And
Yeah.
I actually think that as collectors, we should cheer for the other dolls to get better and better and sell more and more, so Mattel can see the dog
Well, like
under them,
those
you know?
fashion, those, mystery fashion balls, that I was telling you about. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope Howard doesn't hear this, but um, I don't know how much money I spent on those to get those purses and those accessories that came with those. You know,
I have a bunch of purses as
I mean,
well.
Howard really doesn't care. I'm kidding, but and I'm sure your husband doesn't either. But um, I mean, I've spent that is money to me. That is money that could have been going into Mattel's pocket, but Mattel won't get on the bandwagon, and I agree with you. I think competition builds it, the rivalry, it helps both. First of all, it helps both companies. Second of all, it helps us in the end as collectors because we're
Yeah,
getting amazing
helps us
things.
even more than the companies.
Yes, it helps us even more. One of the things I haven't set up yet, but I have it was the um the boutique that they came out with, or it's a closet for those fashion accessories. And it was a closet and it has a mirror that
Yeah,
lights up.
on the looks line, are you talking about Barbie?
No, Barbie on Barbie. Oh, not Barbie.
Yeah, the looks
The
line.
Zuru. The company is called Zuru.
Oh,
And it,
okay, okay,
yeah.
Zuru.
And
I
they
know
they
the
came out with
clothing.
a closet and it's got
Pink.
shelves and a lighted mirror and I'm like, why did Mattel not do something like this? I
Yeah,
mean,
I just didn't like
we
that
win.
it
We
was
win.
pink.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, yeah. It's great. I love it, And so
And they had a refrigerator as well.
yes. Yes. They
And
did. They had
it was amazing,
they
beautiful.
had a toy store. They had a a convenience store uh
A
that they did
kitchen
as
as
well.
well.
Yes, yes. And then just
And
recently, I was gonna say, and just recently they came out with a Harry Potter like laboratory,
yeah,
which is great
yeah,
for Halloween.
and cake, and
Yes,
cakes.
yes, yes.
And I sent Strela here in Brazil an email asking them to put some effort in making furniture in Barb size,
Ah,
and they didn't get me. They only answered me that they don't produce Barbies anymore. And I was like, okay, I know you don't produce
right,
Barbies,
right,
but I think that you should invest in not because they are just falling apart here in Brazil. Their
right.
toys are not so great as they used to be, and the company is struggling.
Right.
So I believe that if they stopped doing dolls and started making accessories,
Uh-huh.
maybe they would find niche of stuff to do, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, well, like, Zuru, they don't make a fashion doll, but they've got all these accessories, fashion
Yeah.
accessories, food, and everything that's Barbie sized. They're making money to the bank. I will tell you because working at Target, I literally would have people that collected all that stuff. I would open up the case, and inside the case was a big box with 18 of those balls in them. I had people buy the entire case with 18 of those balls in it.
Yeah.
Just
And if you think about it, they know this because they
yeah,
don't make dolls. And they know
no,
people won't buy this type of stuff just to have it. They
just to have
know
it.
they're investing on Barbie.
Right, right. I mean, I've got tons of that stuff, and sometimes we have a window in our kitchen, and Howard's like, "Why is the blinds up?" And I'm like, "Because I'm making food. Because I'm making I'm making that miniature
Hero
food in
food.
the window, and it has to cure in the sun. The resin gets hard, Um, but even though they're not making dolls, they are making money off of Barbie because all of us doll collectors are buying that stuff.
We love it. And as you said, this should be Mattel. What this should be what Mattel.
Yes, yes, it should be. So, uh, so we have another
So
fun subject. What is your favorite Barbie friend or relative?
okay, my favorite Barb friend is actually Mitch, and I don't know if I should say this, but Midge is this ugly friend that cheer up for you and make you look even better in your clothes. And she's not jealous of you, and she wants you to thrive. You know, she's a good
Okay,
friend.
she's a good friend, but I mean, they did. She was plain. She was Barbie's plain friend. Um, but they did give her a makeover. When she got married to Alan. They really
Yeah,
made it
yeah,
glamorous. But
yeah.
okay, so Midge, okay, because
Yeah.
we all have, not we, but a bunch of my friends have this theory that Midge left Wisconsin and she went to college, and she started hanging out with the cool kids and she became PJ.
That's a fun story, but I don't think so. She was just lost in some shelf, and she do you remember this episode on Barbie in the Dream House where she appears in black and white? Yeah,
Yes.
so she was lost in some shelf and just returned it after a lot of years in black and white.
Yeah, yeah. I like Midge. I think Midge is underrated. I think some midges are very pretty, but I see, what you're
But
saying.
never prettier than Barbie.
Well,
Never.
that's funny. That's funny you should bring that up because that goes into my favorite friend,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk right about that. So, my favorite friend is being being a little kid and everything on TV, was blonde and everything. Um, when they did Fashion Photo PJ, I thought I was
Yeah,
going to
I
lose my
remember
mind
that.
because here was, I mean, I thought I was glamorous. Yeah. I thought I was glamorous, and she had dark hair, and I love that. But this goes into my favorite friend and also being pretty. Anyway, my favorite friend, which came out in the 80s, is Whitney. I love Jewel Secrets Whitney.
Really?
I I love Jewel Secrets Whitney. Well, I love all the Whitney dolls because she had brown hair like I did. Here's this glamorous brunette.
That's a surprise to me. I never thought about. Uh,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have never guessed.
yeah. That's one of my favorite friends. And so I actually brought a prototype Whitney to show you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! She's beautiful. Look at this waistline.
Yeah.
Oh, what a nice hair! Is this Saran
It's saran and then it's got
or
iridescent
nylon?
strands in it.
Oh, okay. It's Saran with nylon around it, maybe.
yeah, it's the tinsel. It's called shimmer shine. That's what they call it in Mattel in-house. It's called shimmer shine. But yeah, she's got pink hair. I found this dress which just happened to match her hair, so I was happy about that. But anyway,
Is this
Whitney,
the
I
Steffi face?
yes, it's a Steffi face. Yes, yes. There she is. Hello. Oh, there she is.
Oh my!
Uh,
I always look at Steffi and I think about these baby dolls that you put. Oh, I don't know the
oh,
name in
a
English.
bottle
Yeah. Ooh,
or
the ball.
pacifier.
No, no
Yeah,
bottle. It's the baby stuff.
yeah. So, um, so you mentioned something very interesting. You said not being prettier about, you know, Barbie, Midge not being prettier. Um, this actually came from a Mattel employee. So they came out with Jewel Secrets Barbie and Ken, and on the back of the box was Whitney and Skipper, and it said they were coming in spring of that year, or maybe they weren't. Um, Apparently, and this was a rule then. I don't know if it's a rule now, but I've had a Mattel employee, actually two separate Mattel employees tell me this. Whitney actually tested higher with the kids than the Barbie in the line, and they were not going to
Oh.
make her. They were not going to make her because she tested higher with the
I
kids.
I can see Barbie trolling her off the stair.
Yeah, and you ought to seen the prototypes of the Whitney before they watered it down to what we got, which is still very glamorous. I actually have photographs of that was taken at a convention of the prototypes of two different Jewel Secrets Whitneys, and they were dressed in one was in blue and gold, and I believe the other was in black and gold, and they had like those like fancy hats like they wore on Dynasty. The one I really loved was from the front, she had this hat with like a, it wasn't a feather, it was some decoration on it. And her hair was black. And her hair was black and curly and it was shoulder length. That was a wig. She actually was going to come with a wig that you could put
Oh,
that made her hair look short and black. And then her
they did
ponytail went to
better
the
in
back.
not bringing her.
Right. And then and they totally, because when I saw the prototypes, I was just like my jaw hit the floor. Um,
Yeah, they
but
would never
what?
do such a thing with Barbie.
No, no. Well, they might, they could. I mean, we got pretty changes Barbie with the wigs and stuff, but the Whitney,
No,
she
no,
had
no.
this
But
hat.
they would never try with Barbie.
Oh, they would never try. Yeah, I don't think they would try now. I don't know. But the dolls were amazing, but they ended up like I said, because I was talking to a Mattel employee at the time, and I said, "Oh, I can't wait for Whitney. I'm so excited." And she said to me, "Luckily, we're going to be doing them." And I said, "What do you mean luckily?" And she said, she almost did not get done because she tested so high with the kids above the Barbie in the line, and which I found very interesting. And then about 10 years later, I had a friend of mine who worked at Mattel, and somebody went by him with like all the beach dolls that were coming out, and he said, "Oh my God, look at that Teresa. That Teresa is just beautiful. She's better looking than the Barbie." And the person
Are
said,
you
"Well,
saying?
give."
Are you talking about the Teresa line? The line where Teresa was presented in the 80s?
She was in the beach. She was in the beach, one of the
Uh,
beach lines.
California, California Dream.
No, this was like 10 years. This was like 10 years later. This was like in the late
Oh, okay, in
90s.
the 90s.
In the
Okay,
late
okay.
90s, yeah. And so the person said, "Well, get a good look at her now because she will not look like that when she comes out in the line because she had tested better than the Barbie in the line." And so they watered it down, and where Barbie was the one, you know. So I don't know if that still
The
goes on
prettiest
today, but
of them
that
all.
was going on back then in the 80s and 90s where Barbie had to be the one, and if she wasn't, then they would water
Yeah.
down the doll.
I, I read in somewhere, I don't know where it says that Midge was actually less frightening to kids than Barbie. Barbie was so glamorous at the time when she was launched,
Yes.
was so fancy, was this rich lady, and some kids were a little bit frightened by her. So
Yeah.
they made Midge so they could relate more to
Yeah.
her.
I
So
think
she's
so. I
that
think
sympathetic friend. She this kind of good friend that don't cares about being the ugliest and
right.
just cheer for you.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to read the storybooks where Midge is in the storybooks with Barbie, it describes her as being short and um pudgy, was a little overweight. She was not, glamorous. She was Barbie's, I mean, I hate to say unattractive friend, but you know, but yeah,
Yeah,
and it's really funny you should say that about the Barbie because um I've talked to people who
unattractive is actually a better term than uglier that I said
yeah,
before.
yeah. Um, or let's say not as attractive. Um, but I've talked to several people, because I tell everybody I collect Barbie because you never know who you might meet or know there's somebody that's got something for sale or whatever. But anyway, they said they never got a Barbie, but they had Skipper because Skipper was more um sedate, more like first of all, more like the girl themselves, but not this big glamorous over the top, like Barbie.
Fashion
Um,
queen.
yeah, fashion queen. In fact, one of Howard's relatives, we were gonna buy their little girl a Barbie, and I said, is it okay if I buy her a Barbie? And her mother said, yes, that's fine, but would you please make sure that it's not a super glamorous Barbie? Would you make? And I said, oh, sure. Because they make Barbies from, you know, every day, like going to the grocery store, look into, Bob Mackie. And I said, oh, yeah. So we bought her a very nice,
I
plain,
got it.
simple Barbie, but I found that very interesting that a lot of these people, and once again, they're not collectors. Some are collectors now, but said that their moms would not buy them a Barbie, but would buy them a Skipper because that was like close enough to Barbie, Barbie related, but because it was more sedate, it was more sedate. So,
Yeah, but I think that most kids, I know that there are these people that love Midge and love Skipper, but I still think that most people were just in love with our Queen Barbie.
I think so. I think so. I know, you know, I was, I'm sure
I
you were
am.
too, you know. So
I still am.
I am too.
Actually,
Yes. So
maybe
yeah,
someday you can see me
yeah,
in Blondie.
yeah.
Oh, of course, we love Barbie. Maybe
We love
someday
Barbie.
you see me in blonde hair, big boobs, doing fashion shows. I
I
don't
was
believe that I'm gonna look good
um
in pink.
long before I looked like this. I was clean shaven, and I actually used to have platinum blonde hair that was almost down to my waist. And so I went to Toys R Us one day, and I had on these black sunglasses and a salmony pink motorcycle jacket. And I walked in there, and some little girl screamed and pointed and said, "Mommy, look, it's Barbie!" And
Imagine if you were a straight guy.
right, right. And so the mom was just mortified, and I said, don't worry about it.
See?
So I got down on the ground. She's probably about 3 or 4. So I got down and I said, "How are you?" And she's like, "I'm good." I go, "Okay, well, be a good girl." And she's like, "Okay." So I walked away. She's like, "Bye, Barbie." And I'm like, "Bye," but
Bye,
anyway,
Barbie. You know
bye.
what?
Yeah.
You're gonna be Michael Malibu, and I'm gonna be Vinicius Brooklyn.
Okay. Or you can be the fabulous Brazilian Barbie. So
Yeah. Oh, the amazing Carnival Barbie, or
right.
maybe
Carnival.
the I don't remember her name. The one at the same line. We had these glamorous dolls of the world line with
Uh-huh.
the. Do you remember her? Luciana doll. The Luciana doll. I'm
Oh
gonna be the
yes.
Luciana.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah, So, Michael, I believe that
Yes.
we are just having more than 1 hour of show. Do you want to
Right.
go with another last question, or do you think we should
Um,
just cut
I,
out?
if we've got a couple minutes, one of the last questions, and I think this will appeal to a lot of our audience, and I'd love to hear their reactions, is I got a post-it note here. Let's see here. What is what is the most annoying question that you get about Barbie collecting from people who are not collectors? These are like people like your relatives or people you work with. What are some of the most annoying things that you've been asked about your collection or
That
collecting
one,
dolls?
I know. Uh, you could ask me anytime that I would say the same thing. Price. I hate when someone brings price. The What's the price hand of this Barbie? What's the
Right.
most expensive Barbie you have?
Yeah.
Because it's not about the price, it's not about the money. If I
Right.
love it money more than I love Barbies, I would kept the money. I
Right.
would have kept the money and not buy Barbies. So
Right.
I hate when someone asks me about price.
Okay.
How about you, Michael?
Um, the question I get, I would have to say I can't even count how many times I've been asked this, is um, do I worry that my dolls are going to come alive at night and kill me?
Oh my God.
I
Really?
can't tell you how many times I have been asked that.
Oh,
And
it's not
and I was
a
like,
usual
really?
question to me.
Why would they kill Big Poppy, when I give them a home, I give them cars, I give them mink coats, why are they going to kill Daddy?
Yeah.
Why are they going, you
Why?
know, but what's really interesting about this is the I get asked that question a lot. I mean, a whole lot. But the very interesting thing, and I think
I
this
can
is
see why.
a cultural thing. I have been asked that more often by Hispanic people in the Hispanic um, community and in the African American community.
Really, I believe that is
Yes.
cultural. Yeah.
And I think and this is just my theory, is in the Hispanic culture, um, I think maybe, now I don't know for 100%, but about, maybe dolls coming alive or cursed dolls. And then also in the
I
African
believe that
American
our
community,
viewers can answer that.
in voodoo, African American and voodoo dolls and stuff like that. But that is the question I get most asked about my dolls coming alive at night. And I get a lot of
Tell
that
me that.
from the Hispanic community and the African American community. And
Yeah.
of course
Here in
I
Brazil,
get
I've
it from a
never
lot of,
had this question made.
I get it from a lot of white people too, who think, because they've seen too many Chucky movies, but, that's an interesting, but I've gotten that.
Do you really think that Marilyn Monroe would get up in the middle of the night to kill me? Huh. Never.
No. No, no, I
No.
don't, no, I
No.
don't think so. No, no,
No.
the, my
I
dolls,
never had this question asked to me here in Brazil.
yeah,
Everyone's just about the price. Oh, you must be rich. Oh, you must have a car in Barbies. Oh,
yeah,
you should buy a home with all these dolls. And that's what annoys me the most.
yeah. I mean, and I would have to say, um, the money thing is probably the second question I get asked about the money. And well, how much is it worth? Why don't you sell it and buy a house? Why don't you do this? Why don't you know? Uh, but to me, talking about money is just like bad taste, Now,
Yeah,
unless
I totally agree.
unless this is the one thing, unless you get something so amazing for such a cheap price, you find, a number one for $3, at a garage sale, or
You should
so
talk about it.
that's a totally different area. But to ask what is things worth, and I mentioned that in that last program about a former relative asking me, well, where do you keep your most valuable things? What's the most valuable? And I told you I have those video girl Barbies with the video cameras.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was your brother-in-law, right?
maybe. So,
Yeah, you told me that.
yeah, yeah, no, it was, yeah, just, yeah, ex brother-in-law, just in case my sister sees this video, yes. Um, but he asked me, "What's the most expensive thing you have? Where do you keep it?" Well, just all these questions that were completely inappropriate. I mean, it's different. Like if somebody like you, meaning you can understand. So he said, "Oh, where do you keep your dolls? Do you have a doll room?" Oh, okay. I mean, that is a
That's
legitimate
okay.
question because I know, I know some people that don't have a doll room and they have their dolls in their living room in cabinets and stuff like that. I am
And
lucky.
in
I am
boxes.
blessed. Yeah, I am lucky. I am blessed that I have a Barbie room. You have a
That I
Barbie
never
room.
saw. Everyone, just be advised, he never showed the room to me.
Right. No, well, no, I will one day, I promise. And not because if there's anything against you, but because we were going to move. So almost everything got packed. And then we decided not to move. So everything is packed. So, yeah. So anyway, that's what. One
Someday.
day, I promise
So
I will do it on here. I'll do a tour of the Barbie room. Um, and
yeah, I
you'll get
would
to see.
love a tour in your Barbie room because I know that it would have such amazing things. And when I
I've
think
got some
about
good stuff.
money, yeah, I know that. I know some of them he cannot show to you guys, but I am a friend and I can see on when the curtains close. So when we talk about money and we talk about Barbie money, I don't know why people keep asking how much is value, how much this is, how what's the most expensive doll? Because they will not buy Barbies. Why they want to
Right.
know? Why? They should
Right.
ask what's the most beautiful doll, or what have more meaning to you, or what which one was your first doll.
Right.
These are the
Or
type of question they should be asking.
Right. Or like today when we talked about who is your favorite Barbie friend or relative, because everybody
Yeah,
other than Barbie, I mean, that I'm totally cool with that. I have no problem. But when you're and I'm like, why does it matter? My thing is, why do you care what I spend my money on? If you
yeah,
want to, um, I had a relative, uh, and she spent her money on going on trips and I can remember one year we got a Christmas card and they were in Hawaii having Christmas in Hawaii. And my mom, I thought was going to lose her mind because her sister had gone to Hawaii for Christmas. And it's like, it's her money. If she wants to, if she wants to celebrate Christmas, next to a volcano, who
it's
cares?
okay.
It doesn't matter because you're buying what you want, which was antiques, her and my dad, antiques and collectibles. It doesn't matter. Why are you worried about my money? You know?
Yeah, money it's only paper. What you do with your money, it's what it counts.
Yes. I
Money
agree.
is to buy things you like. It's to make
Yeah.
occasions. It's to buy
Yeah.
Barbies. It's to buy a
Right.
car.
But my thing is, people say, money can't buy happiness, and my answer to that is, well, then you don't know where to shop.
My father
Because,
used to say that money can't buy you happiness, but
I'm
it can.
happy.
Uh,
I'm happy with her,
yeah,
you know. There's my happiness right there, So,
yeah. My
you know,
father, Michael. My father used to say that money can't buy you happiness, but it can ask it to be delivered.
right.
And in my case, and I believe it's in your case as well, it can be delivered in bargain form with a nice dress and a nice shoe and a nice
Yes.
box.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, perfect example is when Howard and I got together and I said, I collect Barbie. This is what I spend my money on. And he was like, that's fine as long as all of our bills are paid. And Howard loves clothes. Howard loves clothes. Howard loves shoes. That's his thing. He is happy as a clam in sand buying clothes or buying shoes. That's not me. Buying Barbie is my happy
But does
place.
he have a Barbie? At least one?
No, he's got none. No Barbies. But that's okay.
Oh. Junior, my husband, does not have any Barbies either because if he had, I would have to steal from here.
Right.
So he wouldn't dare.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a good idea if he had Barbies and I had Barbies too. I don't think it would be. I think it's safer this way. I think it's much
Yeah,
safer this way, you know.
I know two collectors, one girl that is married to another girl, one boy that is married to another boy. They both, yeah, have collections together, and I, 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 I would never do something like that because all I think is if you wanna go out of this relationship, how would you choose what Barbies you would
How would
get?
you split how would you split the collection, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, and the thing is, and I'm sure with Junior, like with Howard, he appreciates the stuff, you know, and he's happy that it makes me happy, but it's just not something he's into, you know. So,
yeah,
and I just kind of think you're safer that way. I think,
yeah. Can I get an amen up in here?
amen. Amen. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, it was a great, I
So
think we did a great presentation today, and I hope everybody liked it. We want your feedback.
so
We want to hear what you think and what you like and things you want us to discuss too. If there's a subject um, that you want to talk about that we don't talk about on this, you know, let us know. We're more than happy
yeah, what
you know,
questions you want us to answer, and maybe
yes,
if you want some guests here, maybe Michael, I would love
maybe
that.
maybe guest, yeah. If you want to, you know, guest, if you want us to talk about something, you know, that we haven't talked about, or, you know, just let us know because you're our audience and we're here to, you know, have fun together. You know, all of us are here to have a good time. And so let us know what you all think.
Yeah, I love it, this show. I love the one last week, and I had amazing feedback, and I hope you guys are enjoying because I wanted to do this show in English for so much time. I know my English is not the best, but I can understand really well. And Michael, I couldn't be happier with our meeting, our
I
meetings.
could,
I
I
have a
couldn't be
new
happier
friend
either.
that yeah, I have this new friend that seems to be with me forever. It's not
Yes.
like we met yesterday.
Right.
And that I can only thank you and thank God for sending you.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. I feel the same way. I'm so happy that we've gotten to know each other and become fast friends and, you know, and trust each other in each other's Barbie room. And so,
Yes. I trust you in my Barbie room.
yes, yes,
Even though I can look into your purse so I can see what you're taking out.
right. And I'll be checking your pockets. So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We trust
Yeah.
each other to look in our pockets, our purses, our
Yes.
backpacks.
Yes. Very much so.
So again, Michael, thank you, all collectors. Subscribe our channel, thumbs up, and
Yep.
have a nice day, nice week.
All right. Thank you. We'll see
All
you all
right.
soon then. Okay. Bye.
So bye bye.
Bye.